No? Okay. How many are aware about the penetration rate in the world? Hands up. None. All right. Now you'll see it. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Now, just two more questions. Smartphones. All of you have it, right? And I believe I heard from James earlier that you guys can still be on because everyone's online, right? So how many of you used your smartphones earlier, just before entering the room? Hands up. Okay. Wait. Hands up. Remain up. Now, I want you to have a look around. Look at all the people who actually was online before you even entered this room. And that was only like, 1.5 hours ago. Now, Google and Yahoo. How many of you used it just a few days ago, recent? Have a look around. Yes, you see? Almost the whole room. Now, I'm going to give you some information. Over 2.2 billion people around the world are already online. Of course, the penetration rate differs between regions in the US and Asia and stuff. Okay, I'm going to zoom into Singapore specific because you guys are here in this room and I'm sure you guys want to know what's happening in Singapore. Of course, I'm not going to neglect the world as well, but I'll give you specific penetration rates of what's happening in Singapore in the next few slides. Okay, but before I move on, just to lay the ground, how I'm going to structure this whole seminar is basically these few components. The changing landscape. Okay, why you should be online, if at all. Okay, the key concepts about what happens behind the scene to drive the traffic to your website. And a case study, a very, very close client of ours, which we help to drive sales for them. And a bit about mobile advertising and, of course, who we are. Now, I know it's quite a lot of things to remember, but at the end, the essential takeaway is this. If you can't remember anything, just remember, around the world, 2.2 billion people are out there. And you can potentially tap on all these 2.2 billion people. All right? Okay. Why advertise online? These figures I'm going to show now are on Singapore, and I move later to the world. Now, you can see that for the internet, on average, 32 hours are spent for the whole week. You know, there are 6.2 days out of a week, and each day 5.2 hours. That's close to a whole day out of the week. Like out of 7 days, 1/7 of your time is online on the laptop. And look at the TV, magazine, newspapers, and radio. I mean, they're still out there. And if you think about it, it's very interesting how those people online are actually the younger generation. And what's supporting the traditional media are the more, I should say, mature generation. Okay, so as long as the population is as such, this is a typical breakdown of the penetration rate of the marketing mix. All right. Again, on Singapore, this is an article in the newspaper just last year in June. They're talking about, as you can see, tablet craze. There's this increasing phenomenon of people being online, and not just your laptop. Now, increasingly, it's a tablet. People are increasingly buying tablets as opposed to just like a smartphone and all that. And if you realize your phone, in the past, when you bought, the phone became smaller and smaller and smaller. And now if you buy today in the stores, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Because of all the new functions and, yeah, people increasingly are more engaged in the mobile phone and in tablet. They want to find more stuff. And it's not just a device where you contact your friends. It's a device to find information. Now, this is interesting. Basically, can I draw your attention to the rate components? Basically, what it says is that people are continuously engaged and all of us essentially multitask. So if you're on TV, you're also on your phone. So I can just draw you an example. Just last night, I was watching on TV. I don't know if most of you are awake at that hour. It was like midnight last night, the Planet of the Apes. Did any of you watch it last night? Hands up? No? I was the only one up at that hour? It was a nice show, by the way. But I found myself, sometimes some parts which got a bit draggy. I mean, there were highlights of the show, but then, my WhatsApp came in, or I was checking work emails. Yes, I do check work emails at night sometimes. And in between of the parts that didn't interest me too much. So that's just one example. But I'm sure you find yourself also sometimes watching TV and the ads, when they come on, you find your time more effective. Either, I don't know, WhatsApping a friend, checking emails, or searching for something that you have to do tomorrow. And you do a quick research on that. So that part, look at the one on the top left. 77% of the time when we're using TV, we're using another device. That is a very high percentage, 77%. Meaning, goes to show that you are not 100% focused on the TV. 77% of the time, which is like 3/4, you are on other things, mobile phone or stuff like that. And look at cross comparison with a mobile phone, 57%, which is about half, which means to say half the time you're using your phone to check, you're watching TV. So half compared to 3/4. So you do the math. Yeah, think about the level of engagement about your consumer behavior. Okay, and the rest are just for your general knowledge as well. For this one, we're using tablet as well as a PC, 67% as well as 75%. And this is another interesting trend which is upcoming. This one, what it basically essentially shows you is that whenever someone starts a search on a smartphone, they will continue on another device before making the final purchase. So think about yourself. Think about your, let's see, travel. Travel is, I'm sure, very, very familiar with all of us here in this room. Your summer vacation or your Christmas vacation, Think about it. And when you're busy at work, when you're on the way home, I don't know, if you're in a cab, you tend to use your phone to research for whatever which you need. But for some reason, you find it too cumbersome to basically make the actual purchase. And then you move on to your laptop where, there's the whole convenience of a keyboard, typing it in. So basically, this is what this whole infographic is trying to tell you. That now, these days, increasingly, people are searching on a mobile phone for the first level of search. They get to know your product, and then they make comparison on a PC or a tablet, and then they make the purchase. Yeah. So this is the level of engagement of the mobile phone for consumers today. Okay? Now, bringing you back to traditional media. Okay, can you see how all the pamphlets are pasted at the phone booth? It's very difficult to distinct yourself, and all of them are screaming at you for the same mind share. And it's very hard to distinct one flyer from another in this scenario. Okay? Like you can see, it's very cluttered. And this is a very, very characteristic feature of traditional media. Okay? Of course, this is not to say that it remains like this. It's not. I'm just giving you one example. And of course, another one, which is very familiar. And I see some smiles. Like in your supermarkets, you are at the frozen food section or drink section. You have all these juices. For example, orange juice. Sometimes I wouldn't name brands specifically, but like the more renowned brands will catch your eye and you find yourself just grabbing it for some reason. Even though some other brands, there's way more. For example, there's a lesser known brand which predominates the whole fridge. But you're very familiar with one brand which is imported. I shan't name it, of orange juice, which is, is high quality from your mind share, basically, from historical, or when you were young, you kept drinking it, or when you were on holiday, you kept drinking it. Yeah. So what made you buy that purchase as opposed to the other brand which you've never heard before? It's not the visuals, it's the mind share. And how do you get this mind share? Online is one way. Okay? Hence, online presence become more relevant to influence the purchases more than ever. So drawing back to my example just now, how people search on the phone before they go on the PC or tablet to make a purchase, If you don't appear on the search of the mobile phone, then you're going to lose that initial part of the purchase funnel, which is the exploring stage. Later, I'm going to go into the whole entire purchase funnel of how you can engage someone's mind share before they make comparison, followed by the actual purchasing. Okay? Now, a bit more information for you. Singapore has one of the highest internet penetration rate in this region. 77.2%. That's almost 3/4 of the Singapore population. Okay? 80% of Singapore's internet users go online every single day. Okay? That is way more than 3/4 every day. And here is a breakdown of who is online. There's quite an equal division between the genders, male and female. Okay? And the rest are basically the educational background. Not to our surprise, the higher education covers the bulk of it. Alright? Now, top sites. Just now you heard from the Facebook guru, Andy. Where is he? Yeah. See, the top 3 sites. Google, Facebook, Yahoo. It's very interesting how Google and Yahoo are search engines, but Facebook is not. So you guys are very privileged to hear from the Facebook guru on basically, finding info on Facebook, how you influence, you engage, and mind share on Facebook. Yeah, people do actually rely on Facebook, apart from search engines, Google and Yahoo, to find information. As you can see, evidently from this research. ComScore, by the way. Okay. Another reason for online, you meet your targeted customers. So for example, you're here in Singapore and you want to find something in Bali, furnitures in Bali, like this example. You don't have to buy your flight tickets there and go there and go from like shop to shop in the area. What you can do is just look it up and bam, it's there. See? So if you need to make a travel to Bali to go to the shop that you want to buy furniture, then you know right away which one to go to. Okay? So this portion, which I've circled in red, is what we call SEM, which all of you already know, since I saw from the poll just now that you guys are all online marketers. So I shan't bore you. I'll just quickly drill down to the other components. SEO, okay, where it's not paid per click, but it's organic, and display advertising. So the next slide may be a bit too basic for this crowd of online marketers. I'm not sure whether I should show it at all. Okay? Because this relates very, very well with non-online marketers, which I personally and our company face all the time, the SME owners. And this way is the best way to basically explain to them and break it down what SEM, SEO, display means, which this room already knows. But just to share, SEM, like your classifieds, you pay per click. Newspapers, you pay by columns. You pay by size. You pay how large you want. And to this one, it's very interesting because you always talk about columns and showcasing your products. But I had this tragic experience of having to put, I was working in this under company, Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a member for entrepreneurs. And I had the sad experience of having to put up an obituary. And it's really expensive. Yeah, just to share. So yeah, that's obituary is also part of classifieds. You actually pay for that and it can be very expensive. SEO, you have no influence of what appears on the front page until your content is very, very interesting. So same thing, SEO, your meta tags. I'm sure you're already familiar with it, right? There's no guarantee that you're bam up there. You have to slowly do it again and again, change this, change that. It's not like more straightforward like SEM. And finally, display, just like your advertisement you see here. So there you have it, just like your newspaper. So on targeted still. So let me just bring to your attention, for example, lunch break, and you want to make a quick purchase for pizza or shoes. You just search on your mobile phone, and then you drop the search queries, the answers, and there you have it. Just go directly. And you can also go by proximity, which is one of the advantages of SEM, targeting. You can target your audience. You can target your geography area. You can basically target who you want your ad to be seen. Okay? And that is basically the whole beauty of SEM. You know exactly who's viewing your ads. You are the one who determine your audience. Not like push advertising, where you have it out there and you don't know how many eyeballs are looking at it. Now to go down, zoom into SEM and SEO and what's the main difference. SEM, again, I'm speaking to a room full of marketers, so I'm online marketers, so you guys would already know. Let's go through this very quickly. Pay-per-click for SEM, project-based for SEO. Unless, of course, you know how to do it yourself, which is very, very technical. SEM is more user-friendly for the layman out there. Okay, targeting, precise. Like I mentioned to you, you can target geography. You can target time, month. For example, which later you will see, I have a promotion for an upcoming festival. And the festival's tomorrow. Like, oh my God. So SEM, you're able to do it if you're doing it on your own, of course. Immediately. Like you can see there, timely, immediate. And for SEO, it's ongoing. You do something, some tweaks to your meta tags and all that, but the results are not immediate. You don't see your website coming up as fast as SEM. Timely, building further on the festivals that I mentioned earlier. So this is like all the case studies I show you are basically real case studies. So Chinese New Year hampers, florists, they know that Chinese New Year is around the corner and they have a package or hamper which is put together very last minute by the marketing team. So if you were to print flyers, put it in mailbox and all that, it'll take a lot of time. Imagine, design, print, distribute. For SEM, you can do it quite fast. Do your text ad and bam, it's up. Timeliness. Perfect for seasonal promotion. A common advertising dilemma. You'll be very familiar with this when it comes to traditional advertising. Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. So half is working and half is wasted, but you don't know who's viewing your ads. This is a very, very common dilemma in the past. And I'll answer because it's by pay-per-click. So you exactly know how many people, you can determine the budget. You define how much you want to pay for the month, for the week, for the day, and then they pay accordingly. Okay, pay per click. Highly measurable because of the various reports, analytics that you run, and minimal production cost. There's no printing involved, distribution involved. Just to share with you some online campaigns. A lot of people think big companies are online, but I'm sure the room full of online marketers would know better that SMEs like Avius Car Rental, well, they're big too actually. Accounting software, even dating agencies. And all these are just our clients, just to share with you basically the various sizes of businesses which are up there already. So to summarize for why to be online, 3 things. Drive targeted traffic to your website. Okay. Brand awareness, as well as generate sales leads for businesses. Okay, now I've covered the part on the whole advertising landscape. Let me just drill down to the key concepts of what you can do to basically start your campaign. What we do as our expertise. 5 steps. Just like the Facebook just now you heard, few steps, right? Same thing. For SEM, just few steps. This is when you take your notes. Okay, step 1, very important. Just 2 things. Drive sales and or brand awareness. A lot of people ask myself and my colleagues, my optimizers, my team basically, Rozana, can we do both? Definitely, but you have to know that you have to prioritize things. If you would do both, you might actually be diluting your efforts. Unless, of course, you have a huge budget, then yes. But a lot of companies, in particular SMEs, don't have that large a budget. So we would advise them to prioritize. Because if you were to drive sales, the tactics and strategies are different to generate brand awareness. So you have to be clear in your mind what you want to do. You don't just start something because you want it and everyone's on the bandwagon and you just hop on the bandwagon. No. You have to be clear why you want to be online. And with that, then you can see the ROI. Step 2. Analyze competition. I'm going to show you with an example on fashion. So just have a quick look at, this is just some ad copies that I managed to dig up. And then, like any other ad copy that you can see on the side or on the top. Things like latest trend or 70% off or best quality, low price. So you must know what exactly your competitors are doing. And you must know yourself, what is your, how do you differentiate yourself? If you are not cheap and you distinct yourself as quality, then you shouldn't have the word cheap in your ad copy, stuff like that. Okay? So you have to know exactly who are your competitors and what kind of stuff they're writing. So you have to know your, my Chinese colleagues often tell me there's this famous Chinese saying. Unfortunately, I'm Malay, so I can't say it in Chinese, but they translate it for me very nicely. The Chinese people might know the saying, but translated, it basically means if you know the enemies, half your battle is won. Am I right, Chinese people in the crowd? Right? Yeah, I see some nods in their head. So you have to know what your competitors are doing in order to formulate one for yourself. 3, halfway through. Okay, very quick. Keywords. This is the true art of SEM. You really have to know what kind of keywords you have to double guess, basically. Put yourself in the shoes of your consumers and think about what are the words that will look for you. Okay? Shoes, what kind of shoes? I don't know, comfortable shoes, running shoes, stuff like that. Okay? Relevancy. So, for example, shoes, like I said, running shoes, or whatever color shoe, brand shoe. Relevancy. Search volume. There is a tool online where you can look at the volume of search traffic. So if I like the word, let's say, for example, running shoe, and I look at the tool and I don't see much search volume, why would I want to spend the money on that particular keyword? Okay? Commercial intent. If I have words like free shipping or next day delivery, that's your commercial intent. It basically adds value to your customers. They know why they should be clicking on your ad and go to your website and give you a call shortly after. Pay per click competition. Know how much your ads cost and how much your competitors are paying. Another example, still on the keyword part, still on step 3. Like I said earlier, if you heard me, 3 things. Exploring first. For example, I'm going for a lunch and I only have 1 hour and I have tons to do in the office. And my office is in Orchard. So I look for restaurants in Orchard. I don't even know what cuisine I want yet. I just search restaurants in Orchard. This is the exploring stage. I don't know what's out there in Orchard. I want to just basically see what's out there and then I decide. Explore. That's the key thing. Compare. And then I decide, okay, I want to eat Japanese cuisine. I want to eat salmon or stuff like that. Okay? So this is when I start comparing. I know Japanese. I look at all the Japanese restaurants available in Orchard. Finally, I'm ready to make a purchase. I'm eating into 10 minutes of my lunch break. Purchasing. Look at the words carefully. I actually look now for lunch set promotions. Japanese restaurant in Orchard. So, it's lunch. I'm looking for good deals. And it's in Orchard. So obviously, me being the user, I will search for different things at different stages of my query. If I want to explore, shorter. Compare, longer. Purchase, very, very long. Typically, because Google will just throw out whatever relevant ads, depending on what the advertiser determines. Second last step, step 4. Structure your account. This is the tricky part. Okay? A bit daunting for new advertisers, also for new online marketers. Okay, this is the part where it gets a bit more daunting. Because, I'm giving you a simple case study, but of course, when you try to do it, it's a different story altogether. Okay, shoes, for example. Campaign, ad group. Ad group is where people stumble. A lot of people make the mistake of putting so many different things in a single ad group. They don't have a single unifying theme. Not because they're not strategic or not smart. Mostly because we have no time to do this kind of thing. Okay? A lot of online marketers do it. A lot of DIY people do it. They just put everything there. Ad group, start, autopilot. And then you'll see your money going down the drain. Okay? Because the tool is there, but you have to use it well. It's not the fault of the tool. It's the fault of the user who doesn't optimize because they don't have time or expertise or experience. Final step, which wraps up the whole key concepts. Okay? Which is the hardest? Ongoing. Keywords, set up and review, track, review and optimize. Okay? I'm not going to go too much in detail. I'm just going to speak very briefly on all these things. So let me highlight the top part, keyword and ad description, which is what I mentioned earlier about the keyword strategy. So you are happy and contented with the list of keywords that you have generated. And then you create your campaign, which I showed you just now, the ad structure, campaign and ad group, if you realize. Followed by tracking and reporting. This is the part where it gets a bit more technical, a bit more daunting, a bit more cumbersome. Okay? You have to see which are the parts, your ads are clicked, which are the keywords which comes up very frequently in terms of increasing trends, decreasing trends, and you optimize accordingly. If there's a higher search volume, increase your bids or increase your budget, increase your budget. If it's not higher up in the ad copy, you want to increase your bids, stuff like that. You tweak the components that you want and you can see immediate results. Okay? Just some more things. So at Purple-Click or anyone at all at home, if you want to do your own SEM, these are the 7 things that you have to constantly have at the back of your head to know that your SEM campaign is successful. Your checklist. Okay? So I have conveniently put for you just like a pilot. When he's basically maneuvering the plane, there's a lot of things on his dashboard. You have to make sure that everything's working well and in sync with each other. Same thing. You got to multitask for 7 things. Structure, which you saw just now. Let me remind you, is a campaign and ad group. Targeting, who you want to target, where you want to target, when you want to target. Ad copy, remember the one that I said, cheap, affordable, inquire now, stuff like that. You have to test accordingly. Check whether it's effective for your product. Extension. This is a relatively new feature. Ad copy, you have several things below underlined in blue. You will see the catering, for example, or restaurants. You'll see like a Valentine's Day promotion, and then you'll see takeaway, and then you'll see contact us. So those are side links basically. It enhances the user experience because the moment they click, they go directly to what they want. Users or anyone in general don't like to waste time. And I also don't want to waste your time and just speed up, don't worry. So users don't like to waste time. And the moment they land on something relevant to them, they will stick to you and act. And that's what you want to do. Budget. Limited by budget? Know exactly what you want. Drive sale or generate brand awareness and take the ball and run. Do it accordingly. Don't get distracted. Okay? Focus, focus, focus. Keywords, like the one I mentioned to you, relevant to you. Remember the keyword strategy? Think about where in the purchaser's mind do you want to target. At the exploration stage, the comparing stage, or the purchasing stage. All those will affect your keyword. Do you want the word cheap in your keyword? Do you want the word quality in your keyword? Bids. How high you want your copy to be, the higher you have to bid Of course, there's other mechanics like quality score and all that stuff, but it's a bit technical for a quick seminar like this. Of course, you can approach me later for questions. Case study, a very close client of ours, Garmin. A lot of people think SEM is for B2C. I'm not sure why. Or maybe because I'm so ingrained in this industry that I think I already know automatically, instinctually that it's for everyone. But whenever we meet B2B clients, I explain to them we do have a lot of B2B clients and what they do. And interestingly, it works better for B2B clients because the more niche your product, the more you want to know who is looking at your ad. If it's B2C, then the perfect thing, not perfect, sorry, billboards would be great because you want the whole world to see. But let's say you're doing something like boom lifts, spider lifts, and stuff like that, then you know what the people who are looking for you are more specific. For example, we have another client who actually does the ball bearing of the conveyor belt in airport. That's really specific. Like, who would look for conveyor belt, ball bearing, airport? But it happens, right? Exactly. So you want to exactly target it. Billboards for ball bearing conveyor belt Changi Airport. Remember the dilemma? Half the marketing dollars are wasted. The problem is I don't know which one. Okay? If you're selling so niche ball bearing below conveyor belt, then you should target it more to, let's say your niche magazine or SEM, which is a lot faster. So back on the case study. This is a typical sample report, and this is just a snapshot. In our reports, we give a lot more information, and we will walk you through what it means. So impressions, clicks, CPCs. Impression means how often, frequently you appear whenever someone searches for your word and your ad is triggered. Clicks, how many clicks you garner from your the search queries. And average CPC, how much it costs. At this point, I must remind you, because maybe you might already know, of the auction system. So your CPC might change from time to time depending on your competitors. Okay? It's not within your control or Google's control. It's basically who hops on the same board as you and compete with you. The fellow advertisers out there who compete with you. The more advertisers, the more aggressive you are. Poor you. I'm sorry. It's not within our control. Just everyone loves a keyword because there's a huge search volume. So those things are not within our control, but we advise you. And budget is within your control. Okay? So as you can see, keyword performance. Sometimes you might aim for the lower CPC or the highest clicks. A lot of people favor clicks. Again, objective. If you want brand awareness, you will look for impressions because you want to always be there. If you want to drive sales, you will look at clicks because you want people to click on your ad. Doesn't matter they see, seeing is good, but you want them to click. So again, reminding you the step one just now, if you forgot, it was driving sales or generate brand awareness. Okay, relating back to this one. Okay. Now, how about mobile? All this talk about SEM, but you do realize, again, when I asked yourself how many of you use your mobile phone before you entered, the room full were using a mobile phone. And mobile phone now is not only for communication like your phone, text, WhatsApp. People also look for things online, like we saw just now in the landscape. Search ads, that's how they typically appear. It's not unfamiliar to you. And web display ads. When you go to some websites, you see on the top. And this is just a quick health check. Just now you saw the SEM health check, the 7 things that you have to always take note of. Now mobile, you know that so many people are on mobile. Should you hop on the bandwagon? Of course. But do you have this? Only if you have all this, are you prepared to be online? Okay? My time is running up. Okay, 7 things. So have a quick look. Mobile strategy. Have your team been trained? Review your mobile stats, your mobile key metric. Okay, who's monitoring? Very important. Even like a staff, if you're the founder of your own company, you have your staff. You don't have surveillance, but you monitor via KPIs and reports. Same thing. Before you run a mobile campaign, you want to monitor it and not let it be autopilot. All right? consumer insights. Who's doing the intelligence for you guys in your team? And mobile specialist. You do need a fair bit of knowledge before you hop on the mobile bandwagon. With that, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.